Good morning again. Today we are going to be talking about some really ugly looking problems. It's going to involve a little tiny bit of fraction work, but again, it's stuff I can walk you through. Alright, first off, we have to know a key word. It's a word called reciprocal, not a word you use very often. Reciprocal officially means two numbers that have a product of 1. It means two numbers that when you multiply them together, you get an answer of 1. That's kind of rare, unless you're involving fractions. So here's how we actually do a reciprocal. First step is to make sure you actually have the number in fraction form. So if you look at these examples down here at the bottom, you can see this first one, number 4 down here. I need to make it in fraction form, which means to put it over 1. Pretty simple. If it's already a fraction, then great, you don't have to do anything. Next, flip that fraction upside down. That means 1 over 4 over 1 becomes 1 over 4. This one, 2 over 3, you flip it, now it's 3 over 2. This one, you flip it, 5 goes up top, negative 4 goes on bottom. Again, that's called a reciprocal, and it is an important little feature of our work today. Let's talk about why it's important. So today we're going to be looking at equations that have fraction coefficients. Now remember, coefficient means a number that is stuck up next to a letter. And you can see we've got that right here. That number 2/3 is stuck up next to x. But it's a fraction. And that makes it a little ugly, and some people might not know what to do. So here's what we do. Step 1, split it down the middle. That's always going to be our first step in solving an equation. Now we're going to multiply by that reciprocal on both sides. So reciprocal means to flip that fraction upside down. Do it on both sides. Alright, what's happening is now on the left-hand side, if I multiplied across the top, 3 times 2 I would get 6. 2 times 3 I'd also get 6, and then those are going to kind of cancel each other out. So let's back up a little bit, and let's not do it that way. Let's just cancel them out now, cross-canceling a numerator and a denominator. They both canceled out, nothing left but x. Now on the other side, follow order of operations. Do the multiply before you divide. It says 12 times 3 divided by 2. So 12 times 3 divided by 2. That's how you'd read that from left to right. So 12 times 3, that happens to be 36. And then divide that by 2 and you get 18. So it's a little bit of fraction work, but not very much. On the right, it looks like fraction work, but again, all you really did was you took 12, times it by 3, got 36, and then took that answer and divided by 2, which is 18. All right, let's try one hard one. All right. So first thing we always do is split it down the middle, equal sign. Now again, I got all kinds of stuff, and here's my x. So hopefully you remember that order of operations. We're going to do some things in reverse here. So that means we're going to start by getting rid of the add-subtract number. So that's this plus 2 right there. So the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. So we'll have minus 2 on both sides. 2 minus 2 makes 0, and that cancels. There are no other combining like terms for the x. So I bring it down. And over here on the right, I'm going to put these two together. They're the same sign, so I add them. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 is bigger, and it was negative, so 3 is also negative. All right. Now this multiply-divide step. This is where we get this new awkward step here. All right, where we are going to multiply by the reciprocal, since that's a whole fraction. It's not a simple divide. Remember a couple days ago, we did things like x divided by 2 equals 5. And that was just a straight divide over here. This is something completely different. That's a whole fraction right in front of that x. We've got to get rid of that whole fraction. All right, so on the left-hand side, the good thing is that these 3's cancel and these 4's cancel, and we just leave x. That's why we did that. It's ugly, but we don't have to worry about it. Now, on the right-hand side, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this negative 3 times it by the 4. And that's going to get me negative 12. So it'll get me negative 12. But I haven't done this divide by 3 down here yet. So now I'll take that negative 12, and now I'll divide it by 3. And negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. And again, that's the stuff you use a calculator for. I don't care at all if you use a calculator on that type of stuff. All right, today's a little bit harder today, so give your best. It's okay if you don't get every single one right or even able to finish every one. Well, just do it your best, and then this is not homework. Turn this in today even if you don't have it all done.